So in this acoustic guitar tutorial for This Is Amazing Grace, we're not going to be just playing the straight acoustic part. We're going to be playing it as though we were the only instrument and we're just accompanying ourselves, just like I did in the cover of the song. And it's based on Phil Wickham's This Is Amazing Grace. And we're going to be trying to play a couple little extra things here and there. Some of the electric guitar parts we're going to try to incorporate into our acoustic playing just to make things a little bit more interesting. So in the intro of the song, we're going to be playing over the G to start with, and we're going to be playing the whole song in the key of G. If you want to play along with Phil Wickham, he's in B flat. You're going to want to put a capo on 3, and then you can use all the same shapes that we do in this video. So the intro sounds like this. I'm going to show it to you, and then I'll break it down. 1, 2, 3, go. So there's our intro. So you can see we're not just going to play just the chords, we're incorporating that lead line from the electric guitar in there as well. So we're going to be muting some strings as we go so that we can just pick the notes that we want. So we're going to start down on the G, right here, 2nd finger, 3rd fret, 6th string, and then we're going to mute the A string right underneath it, just let our finger touch right there. And then we have open our D and our G. And then we're going to mute the top 2 with our 3rd finger up here, or 3rd and 4th finger. So we just have this as our first note. And then we're going to push down with our 3rd finger here. Like that. But it's with a full strum, so. And then we add 1st finger right there onto fret 1 of the 2nd string, and then let off. And when we're doing that, this finger's coming up to mute our E string, or our 1st string right there. So just doing it slow, you can go with me. 1, 2, 3, go. And then we're gonna shift up. We're gonna take our 2nd finger all the way up to fret 8 on the C. And then we're still muting that A note, and then we're going to mute the 1st and 2nd string again, and then we're going to bring our 1st finger onto fret 7 of the 3rd string, and then we're bringing up pinky up to 9, and then do it again, and then the 2nd time we come back down to our 1st finger. So that 2nd phrase sounds like this if we just start up here real slow. 1, 2, 3, go. And then we come back down. So let's try piecing those two together. Still going slow. You can play with me. 1, 2, 3, go. Slide up. Alright, so then that takes us into the verse, and that just makes that intro a little bit more interesting, especially if you're playing by yourself. So looking at the verse, we're actually going to be playing not a whole lot. It's very rhythmic and percussive. The whole song really is the way that we're playing it in this. And we're going to be mostly playing on this bottom string, a little bit up above, but we're going to be muting our top 2 strings again, muting our A again. A lot of the song is that way with this way that we're playing it. But we're going to just be back and forth with 16th notes, just 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and up. And so it's just down, up, down, up, down, up. And we're trying to keep it real smooth and aggressive sounding, but we want the verse to still back off. So we're not going to do it across all the strings all the time. Mostly we're going to be playing on that bottom string, letting the other stuff ring a little bit. These 2 strings in the middle are D and our G. So I'm going to go ahead and play through the verse and show you what it looks like, and then we'll break it down a little bit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. half of the verse, we're going to do basically the same thing. So you can see in that we're actually not playing a whole lot of the strings. We're mostly just playing 3 strings again. And so muting first and second string, muting the A string, the 5th string down here, and just doing really percussive on those 16th notes. And so it looks like this. We're just going to be following basically our bass note. We're going to start down on the G on 3 with our second finger on the 6th string. And then we're going to slide it up here to the 8th fret for the C. And then for the E minor, we're coming up here and we're just going up to fret 12. Again, still muting those 3 other strings, 1st, 2nd, and 4th string, all muted. And then we're going to step down to the 10th fret on the D. And then this is where it gets a little more interesting and kind of fun and creative, is we're going to come back down to the C, and then we play that electric guitar line that you hear in the Phil Wickham track. It goes like this. So we're going from 8th fret with our second finger. We're going to come up to our pinky on the 4th string, so we're skipping over a string, on the 9th fret. So, and then we're coming down to 1st finger on the 7th fret in the 5th string. And then we add our pinky on 9 on the 5th string, and then move it up to 10 on the same string. So it sounds like this. And so we play that through once, and then we do the second half of the verse, play it through again, and just one little difference once we come through on the second half of the verse. When we get there, we're going to do a drop, just sliding down our string as we head into the chorus. So it'll sound like this. If we're starting up on that line, the King of Glory, the King above all kings. The King of Glory, the King above all kings. And we're going to hit back on our C after we do the line and slide it down and then come into the chorus. And right as we're sliding is when we sing this. So we go, this is amazing grace. And that leads us into the chorus. And so again, just those little details just to try to create a little bit more interesting of a flavor and making it feel more like the whole band, even though we're only playing the acoustic guitar. So the chorus is probably the simplest section. We're mostly just playing big chords because it's the biggest section of the song and we're just playing loud, playing full. So I'm just going to run through those chords real quick, and the shapes I'm using, we're going to just use our G5. And this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. Just moving up to the C with the second in there. And then we're going to come down to the E minor. That you would take my place. An E minor 7. That you would bear my cross. Then we come to the D, which also, if you want to just toss in a fun D, one that I've been liking lately, is this guy right here. If you take like your standard traditional C shape, throw a pinky up on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, adding a G on top, and then you shift the whole thing up 2 frets, just like that. That's just like a really nice D. It's a D add 4, where we're adding that sus note in, but we're also keeping the 3rd. So we have the 3rd and the 4th of the chord right next to each other. But that's a nice one, just right there in that song. If you want to, you can toss it in. That you would bear my cross. And then we come back to the G. You laid down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. And then we're going to be back on the intro again. So let's just run through that real fast, and you can see the rhythm that I'm doing there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. You laid down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. And then back to the intro again. So we'll hit another intro, this time just one. At the beginning we do 2 intros. This time we just do a single one and then into the next verse. So when we get to the second verse, very, very similar to the first verse, but there are a couple differences. We are going to be playing still our 16ths, doing very rhythmic and percussive, but I do like to add in now a little bit more because we're a little bit bigger for the second verse coming around. And so we're going to add this string, our second string with our 3rd finger on it, just right above, same fret as our root note down here. And we're going to run that one. We're still mostly playing on this bottom string here, doing like this. But we're kind of strumming out some of the accents. And then we're going to come up, do the same thing. Our 3rd finger is just going to follow us up to that same fret that we're on for our C. Same thing, we're going to go up to 12 for our E minor, 10 for the D. And then in this verse, in the middle section, we don't come back to the C like we did in the first verse. We just drop back down. So there's no little line in the middle there. But then at the end of the verse, we do come back down to the C, and we play this other line that sounds like this. And then we head into the chorus. So we're going to be playing with our 2nd finger still on that C, and then our 1st finger is going to be on 7 on the 4th string, and our pinky is going to be on 9 on the 4th string, and they go back and forth like this. And then pinky's going to come down here to 10 on the 5th string, and then back up those 2 notes we were just on, and then we're going to go up to the next string, so 7, 9 on the 3rd string. And that we are going to have a couple open strings as we're pounding through there, going through with that rhythm. Up to speed sounds like this. The King of Glory, the King above all kings. And then we're going to be down into the chorus again. So that's second verse. And now we're going to be doing a chorus again. Chorus, same thing as we did before. We might just be a little bit bigger as it's the second time, singing a little louder, playing a little harder. And then we're going to drop back to the bridge section. So as we come into the bridge, we're going to be on just a G coming from the chorus, and we're just lightening everything up. Our strumming is going to be lighter. We're going to just be gentler with how we're hitting it to just bring the level down as we go into it. And then as we go through the bridge, we're going to be picking it back up, building back up for a chorus. So we're going to be on this G coming off of the chorus. So just way lightening up on our strumming. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. And then we're going to pick up a little bit. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. And really hitting those accents. So just like that, it's just mostly chords. It's just the strum pattern we're changing up, and we're kind of accenting that 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. So we're accenting that 2 and 4 kind of through the bridge, just to feel more drum-like and give it that change. So then we come back to the chorus. We play a really big chorus going through, just like we did earlier, just playing it big, singing loud. The vocal goes up a little bit at the end. So in the outro of the song, we're basically just playing the G and the C, the G and the C until we get to the end with a big strum. Sounds like this. All that you've done for me. gets us to the end of the song. I hope that this tutorial has helped you to learn the acoustic guitar part for This Is Amazing Grace. And maybe it's a little bit different than what you've learned before for acoustic guitar. So if it's been helpful for you, I'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe and like button, and maybe even drop a comment down below. Again, if you'd like to hear the cover that I did of this song to play along with, it is in the description below. There's a link right there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.